All right, what is up, y'all? We're going to talk about Conference Championship Weekend and the College Football Playoff. This isn't my usual setup. I'm not at the computer. I'm at nothing, so we're quickly just jumping right into this. I'm going to give my initial thoughts and just details of what I think should happen. Yes, I'm repping IU today. I live in Indiana. I'm a Notre Dame fan, but go Hoosiers tonight. I need IU to beat Ohio State. And I want IU to be the number one team in the nation because why not? It'd be cool. That Indiana Devil magic is very real, and it started with the Pacers. Last year, Notre Dame made it all the way to the title. IU made the playoff last year, and they're running it back. Yes, Notre Dame needs to be in the college football playoff this year. But with all that being said, we had the Group of Five playoffs last night, right? Or conference championship games, not the playoffs. But for them, it was a playoff because you win, you get in. And all I got to say is JMU looked sloppy. They didn't look like their normal selves moving forward. And so as the game went on, they definitely got a little bit better. The quarterback was running a little bit more. And my apologies, I don't watch JMU football much at all. I did a couple years ago when they had Signetti. But now Signetti's sitting down in Bloomington here in Indiana. So that's the best part, is he's completely turned around IU. So JMU won. They seemingly punched their ticket into the college football playoff, along with Tulane last night against North Texas. I thought it was going to be a little bit better matchup. I don't know if they've played in the regular season before or not, because I believe the Sun Belt is still East and West, and I believe – what was it? It wasn't Conference USA. What conference are they in? I really forgot what conference they're in. I don't pay attention much to the Group of Five. It was the American Conference, wasn't it? Yeah, it was the American. So Tulane won that game handedly. Tulane is in the college football playoff. More importantly, do we keep the Group of Five auto bid? I get Cincinnati made it a couple years ago when they had to play Bama in the 14 playoff. To me, that's more impressive because they showed they were a top 4 team in the nation. Granted, you played Alabama, you're not a top 4 team in the nation when you're getting dog walked because the Group of Five schedule and the money that the SEC has that at the time the American Conference did not have. But Cincinnati proved they belong. They went on and beat Notre Dame that year. I remember that because Notre Dame finished 5th. We finished behind Cincinnati. And, of course, after that, Cincinnati knew what they had to do. They left the American, and now they're in the Big 12, which, good for Cincinnati. They knew if they wanted to make the playoff every year or have a shot to make the playoff, they had to leave that conference. They had to get into a Power 4 conference, which is what they did. That's what they had to do. So do we want to keep the Group of Five auto bid? I don't know if we want to because I get everybody deserves a shot. But Cincinnati, when they were in the American, were the number 4 team in the nation, I believe, because they finished in front of Notre Dame, who's number 5. And they beat Notre Dame on the field. Yes, that head-to-head matchup mattered. But now you're telling me that we've got a chance to have Tulane and JMU in the college football playoff. They're probably not going to win those games. We know that, right? We know they're probably not going to win these games. And so are they just taking up a spot? And I've seen the debates. I've seen all that on ESPN, Twitter, or X, or whatever the hell you want to call that. I've seen the debates. I've seen it all over TikTok, people debating and all that fun stuff. Does the Group of Five deserve an automatic bid? I don't know if they do, because giving the Group of Five an automatic bid takes away an opportunity to give us Notre Dame versus Miami Part 2, which, by the way, as a Notre Dame fan, watching them play, Notre Dame wins that game by 2 scores the second time around. I'm sorry. They got the better quarterback, the better defense, the better run game, the better pass game, everything across the board. Carson Beck's not a bad quarterback. Notre Dame is Notre Dame. Come on. They ran the table last year and made the national title. And if they get in, which I believe tomorrow when we have the CFP selection show, they're going to get in. And they're probably going to run the table again. That's just my personal opinion. If not, I watch the bowl game, and I'm an IU supporter through and through during the college football playoff. And if IU loses or if they make it, I'm just a fan and cheering on whatever and watching good college football. Love college football. My favorite time of year. Now, back to the group of 5 automatic bid. You take away the group of 5 and you actually make them earn it like Cincinnati did a couple years ago, especially with scheduling out-of-conference opponents. If you feel like you deserve a playoff spot, I feel like you got to go test yourself and go play a top 10 team. Now, the pushback against that is Texas not getting into the playoff because if you don't play Ohio State, you're in the playoff regardless. You played Ohio State, now you're getting punished for an extra loss. Granted, they're not getting punished for the Ohio State loss. You're getting punished because you got beat by Florida, who is god-awful this year. Again, and I'm an Arch Manning fan. Arch Manning was not ready for the spotlight like he is now. I think if Texas were to get in, Texas is one of the top 12 teams. I do believe that. Texas is a damn good team. That defense is damn good. And the offense looks so much better than what they were to start the year or even in the middle of the year. But that is what it is. Do we think, so one of the biggest things is right now, finished up the Big 12 title game, and Texas Tech handled BYU, smoked them. Didn't look pretty the entire game, but they smoked them, all right? So now we're sitting here, BYU's done. So now that moves Miami right next to Notre Dame. I still think, regardless of week 1, the head-to-head situation, yes, Miami won, but they won by 3 points. And then the following week, Texas A&M beat Notre Dame by, 2 points? Notre Dame lost by a total of 5 points week 1 and 2. That right there shows you Notre Dame is a top 12 team in the nation. Because, especially in SEC school, I don't care what it is, Notre Dame is notorious for losing to good teams and highly ranked opponents. Since we got Marcus Freeman, we've had more disappointing losses like the NIU one. But we've ran the table. We ran the table and did our job, and now we are competitive down south. We're competitive down south with the SEC. Now, money's involved. You could sprinkle more money, and hey, you could take $2 million a year. You take $2 million a year. We can get 5-star recruits now. Does that mean Notre Dame's going to lower the GPA requirements? Hell no, because it's Notre Dame. You got to get in there somehow with academics. But this just made it so much easier that Notre Dame can go compete. Like IU. IU's got money now. Now they're competing for a Big Ten title game. But BYU lost, which now propels Miami right next to Notre Dame at number 11. Yes, head-to-head should matter. But Miami lost to 2 teams who's unranked in the middle of the season. That's why it propelled Notre Dame back above Miami after those 2 losses. Yes, the committee also recently just put Alabama back above Notre Dame. I'm the biggest Georgia fan right now. I want Georgia to win this game and to win it convincingly. Because then, now if you're the committee, you got to put Notre Dame back up. You have to put them back in the 9th spot. You have to. I'm sorry. You have to punish the losers of the conference title game, especially if you have 2 or more losses. The only conference title game that has no repercussions today is the Big Ten title game because that's the number 1 and number 2 team in the nation. If IU loses, they drop to 4. If Ohio State loses, they drop to 2 through 4. If Ohio State loses, I believe Ohio State just needs to drop 1 spot. And I'm not an Ohio State fan. Ohio State loses tonight in a close battle with IU, which I do think this game is going to be a lot closer than people think. But Ohio State loses to a close game to IU. They don't drop out of the top 2. I'm sorry. IU goes to 1, Ohio State goes to 2, Texas Tech is 3. Put whoever the hell you want it for. Probably the SEC champion. Again, I'm a Georgia Bulldogs fan right now. That is, again, you beat Alabama, you do your job, Alabama has to drop right below Notre Dame. You have to. I don't want to be up at noon watching the committee talk and be like, all right, well, Alabama lost, but we're going to keep them at 9. Bullshit, they got 3 losses. They got 3 losses. Don't do that. If you got 3 losses, you have to drop. I still think they make the playoff, yes. But they need to be the 12th seed. In fact, Notre Dame and Miami need to jump Alabama. Give me the Alabama loss, all right? Give me the Alabama loss. That's my pick. Alabama loses right now. Give me the rematch between Miami and Notre Dame in the playoff. Have Miami come up to South Bend. Have them walk their happy asses up to South Bend and give me Catholics versus Convicts Part 2 this year. I promise you Notre Dame wins that game by 2 scores. Promise you. It's going to be like the IU game last year when they played them. Again, as I grew up in Indiana, I love Notre Dame. I'm a Notre Dame fan. I've lived through all the years of hearing Notre Dame is just the Dallas Cowboys of college football. I get it. I see it. I've lived with it. I have got to witness twice Notre Dame make a national title and make the playoff a bunch of times while it was the 14 playoff. But I watched that first BCS championship game that they made against Alabama in, I believe, 2012. There was a sour taste. Did I ever think in my lifetime I would ever see Notre Dame actually get a real opportunity to compete for a title? No. Even the years that they made the playoff, we were not better than Clemson, and we were not better than Alabama, because I believe we only made it twice, where we had to play Clemson, shit the bed. Granted, a couple things momentum-wise go differently. Maybe Notre Dame beats Clemson. I don't know. I'm a big Ian Book fan, and I hate that we couldn't get Ian Book to a national title. But we lost against Clemson. Went a couple years, didn't win much, lost to Michigan a few years, and then we make the playoff again during COVID. And we're playing one of the best Bama teams of all time with Mac Jones and that damn defense. That team ended up smoking Ohio State. So, to finally get to a point where Notre Dame has the money and the resources to spread everything out and to command college football. Yes, the NIU loss is unexcusable. Like, you got beat, and you got beat bad. Or not bad, but it was a bad loss. But then you turn it around and you run through the entire playoff and you make the national title, and the only team you lose to, who you came within 12 at one point before going 0 coverage on Jeremiah Smith, you could have won the game. You could have won the game. I didn't give up on that national title game when we was down like 20 or 35, whatever the hell the score was. Notre Dame came back and fought hard. All right, so give me the rematch. Give me the rematch because I think it's different. I do think Notre Dame runs the table. Now, we got the SEC title game getting ready to start. Like I said, I'm a Georgia Bulldog fan right now. I am the biggest Georgia Bulldogs supporter because you beat Alabama. Alabama's got to drop below Notre Dame, and I think they have to drop behind Miami as well. Sorry, not sorry. That's what needs to happen. If they don't drop behind Miami, committee, that's your fault. That's your fault. You don't put a 3-loss team, and I don't care if you made the conference title. You have to drop. I don't think Alabama should drop out of the playoff, but you have to drop behind Miami and Notre Dame. I'm sorry, you have to. You have to. So I'm a Georgia Bulldog fan. The ACC title game, that's a different story, dog. And I'm here to tell you, I'm a Duke fan as well. Go ahead. Cause the ACC to not get anybody in the playoff. Go ahead. Win the conference and don't get anybody in the playoff. That's all I got to say about that. Two. The biggest game of the evening, and probably one of the biggest games I'm going to witness. I went to the Big Ten title game a couple years ago when Michigan made that run to the college football playoff, I believe. I believe it was 23. I'm trying to think. Because Michigan made it 2 years back-to-back, or no. Did they win it 3 times? They didn't go last year. The year before they won the title. The year before that they lost to TCU. Did they win it the year before that? I think they had to. They won it a couple years back-to-back-to-back. Anyway, more importantly, I went to the Big Ten title game a couple years ago when it was Michigan versus Purdue. And then, now that I'm thinking, yes, they went on to play TCU. They lost. TCU went on to the national title. So I went to the Big Ten title game with Michigan playing Purdue. I was a Michigan fan that night. I knew they were going to beat Purdue, and plus I'm never going to root on Purdue. Screw Purdue. Again, go Notre Dame, go IU. So I got to watch it. The atmosphere of the Big Ten title game, being a powerhouse, even playing Purdue, was such a great environment. Like, it was crazy to watch, and it was fun to watch. It was competitive for about 10 minutes, and then Michigan ran away with it. That was a fun experience. So just a couple years later, seeing the Indiana Hoosiers essentially get a home game for the conference championship is awesome to see. I'm excited for a banger of a matchup. And let me tell you, I think this game is going to be a lot closer than people think. I predict, and here's my prediction, and y'all can let me know down in the comments below, but you also got to subscribe too and click that bell for notifications when my videos pop up. You got to subscribe and get stuff like this all the time. But my prediction is I do think it's a little high scoring because both offenses are great, both defenses are great. I think the offenses break through a little bit tonight, but I think the Indiana defense gets it done. I believe, and this is my gut feeling tonight, IU 28, Ohio State 21, with D'Angelo Pons getting the game-sealing interception while Julian Sayin is throwing the ball to Jeremiah Smith. The go-ahead game-tying drive gets stopped by Julian Sayin throwing not one, not two, but his third interception of the night, and D'Angelo Pons ends the game, and Fernando Mendoza comes onto the field to take 2, 3 knees, whatever it may be, and cements himself as this year's Heisman Trophy winner. 28-21. As the game's tied, 2 minutes left in the fourth, Fernando Mendoza has his Heisman moment, drives the Hoosiers down the field, scores a touchdown, 28-21. D'Angelo Pons seals the deal for the IU defense, and the Indiana Hoosiers win their first Big Ten title since World War II. And they beat the Ohio State Buckeyes for the first time since 1988. That is my prediction tonight. I'm excited for all these games. Again, I'm getting ready to watch the SEC title game. I wanted to make this quick video and give my thoughts on everything. Notre Dame deserves to be in. IU's going to win. Do we need the group of 5 getting an automatic bid? I'm a Georgia Bulldog fan right now. Let's go Bulldogs. Make sure we knock Alabama behind Notre Dame and potentially Miami. Get the job done. And committee, do the right thing. And my score prediction for the Big Ten title game is 28-21 with D'Angelo Pons getting the game-sealing interception on Julian Sayin. And Julian Sayin throws 3 interceptions, the worst game of his season so far. That's my prediction. Like I said, subscribe, click the bell, get all the notifications. I played Madden 26, College Football 26. I've got 2K ready to run it back. Maybe some My Player stuff. I do the GoPro footage. We got flag football resuming back tomorrow after the Thanksgiving holiday. Like this stuff. Subscribe. Blow it up. Do whatever y'all can do because I want to keep doing this for fun. And I potentially want to get enough viewership where I'm making some money doing this. And why not? Have some fun with it. Do what we got to do. Like, subscribe, comment. Let me know your guys' thoughts. And let me know what your guys' predictions are on the rest of Conference Saturday. I'll see you guys next time.